The ing
දයාබර දූ දරුවනි ඔබේ ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනුම වැඩි දියුණු කිරීම සඳහා අපි ඔබට අත දෙන්නෙමු. ඔබ සඳහාම සකසා ඇති මේ සරල ඉංග්‍රීසි පාඩම් මාලාව තුලින් ඔබේ දැනුම තවත් වැඩි කරගන්න. ලෝකයේ අනෙකුත් රටවල් සමග අත්වැල් බැඳගන්න අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරමු.
In the year 2004, in the month of December, on the 26th, something happened. You remember? Yes, that was the big wave of water that came along the Indian Ocean and hit many parts of Sri Lanka. Today we refer to that as the tsunami, which means big wave. You remember that event very well. But what were you doing when the tsunami happened? Many people remember what they were doing. Do you? If you were asked that question, you could say something like, I was listening to the radio when the tsunami struck. Or, we were out swimming when the tsunami struck. Or, we were sleeping late when the tsunami struck. Or, we were out with friends walking on the railway line when the tsunami struck. So we are telling stories, we are recalling something that happened, but we use what is known as the past continuous term. We were, I was doing something, walking, sitting, knitting, talking, or I was with my friends walking. You could use such terms as we tell stories. And remember that usage of the past continuous tense or sense. It's very important to get that right. And if you do, you will be able to tell a lot of stories and do it well. We're discussing this matter of telling stories. And there are two other expressions that we can think of. When and while. When and while. You're talking about something that has happened. And you could say, my friend arrived when I was at lunch. What we're saying is, during the time that you were eating or partaking of your refreshment, eating lunch, someone you know came in. So you say, my friend arrived when I was having lunch. There's another way of saying the same thing. While I was at lunch, my friend arrived. The meaning is the same. It is just that we are using another word, and that is while. So remember, when telling stories, we can use those two words very effectively. When and while. So watch out for that. Now you have an opportunity to know how to use words properly in this whole matter of relating a story, things that have happened in the past, you now recall. But watch and enjoy.
Hello. Today we are going to learn the past continuous form. Look at this example. At 10 p.m. last night, all the lights in our house went out. At the time, I was reading a book. My parents were watching television. My brother was having a bath. And my grandparents were playing cards. Notice the words I was, my parents were, my brother was, my grandparents were. These are all examples of the past continuous form. Do you know how to use when and while? Do you know when it's correct to use either of those words? Look at this rule. Past continuous plus the word when plus past simple, or past simple plus the word while followed by past continuous. Let's look at some examples. I was watching television when the phone rang. Or, if you want to use the word while in there, you could say, the phone rang while I was watching television. Notice the difference. Next, we are going to move on to joining sentences. How do you join sentences using verbs ending with ing? Take a look here. This boy, he was sitting at a table. He was reading a book. How do you join those two sentences? You could say, he was sitting at a table, comma, reading a book. One sentence. Did you see how that was done? Take a look at another example. They were holding hands. They were talking about her mother. What happens when you combine those two sentences? We can say, they were holding hands, talking about her mother.
Now let's consider some words we can think about and learn. One of them is ladder. A ladder. What is a ladder? Well, it is something you use to be able to reach a height, and that which you climb. And so this is something like a set of stairs, but a ladder is different. A ladder. What do you use a ladder for? When you want to reach a height and to clean the cobwebs, the spiders' webs that are to be found near your roof or ceiling, well, you would need a ladder to climb there. When you need to do some repairs on your roof and climb onto your roof, you use a ladder to get there. And also some work in the garden, such as cutting off the branches of a tree which is a little high. To reach those branches, you would need a ladder. Yes, so that's what a ladder is used for. Another word we can think of is reception. It's a common word. There are places which are known as reception halls. What is a reception? Well, a reception is a place or a facility or an event, it's all of those, it's an event as well, where invited guests can be received or made welcome. So perhaps when two people are married, their friends and relatives would like to meet together to express their happiness at the wedding of their friends, and so they are all invited to a reception, that is, where guests are received. This could be in a house, it could be in a hotel, it could be in a reception hall, specially made so that a lot of people can be there at one and the same time and enjoy the company of friends. So that's a reception. But reception also has another meaning, particularly in an office or in a factory. reception means the place where visitors who come into the office or the factory first arrive at. They first are met at the reception, usually by a person who is known as a receptionist. Could be a person who is a man or a woman. A receptionist meets visitors and others who come in at the reception and then conduct them to wherever they need to go to talk to or have discussions with somebody else. But the first meeting is at the reception, which is an area in the front of the office. There you are, 2 words. Enjoy learning about them by referring to your dictionary and use them in your everyday speech. Bye for now.